Rapper Kid Cudi is now on the stand in the Sean Diddy Combs sex trafficking and racketeering trial.
What are you expecting today?
And he said Diddy was like some sort of Marvel supervillain when they finally came face to face.
This is a stressful situation. I'm glad it's behind me.
What the f***? 3 words from Kid Cudi stopped the courtroom in its tracks, echoing off marble walls and buzzing through every phone recording the day's testimony. His voice cracked with disbelief as he stared at the charred shell of his beloved Porsche, flames still licking the edges of a slashed convertible roof. In that moment, every juror leaned forward, every camera clicked into focus, and a hush fell over Manhattan's federal courthouse. But that startling scene was only the opening act in a story of intimidation, hidden bruises, and a pattern of violence that stretches from private homes to luxury hotels. And tonight, you'll hear every twist, every bombshell, and every question left hanging in the balance. Late one December night in 2011, Kid Cudi pulled into his Hollywood Hills driveway, expecting the familiar welcome of his security system, but instead found a scene too calculated for coincidence. Inside, cameras that once tracked every corner of the estate had been stealthily repositioned, lenses now angled toward blank walls instead of front doors. Priceless Chanel gifts meant for his mother and sister lay vanished from the kitchen counter, as if someone had riffled through his life and taken only memories they deemed valuable. His dog, normally free to roam and bark a cheerful greeting at midnight visitors, was locked trembling in the bathroom. Its water bowl empty, the lock handle greased to make any rescue pointless. Cudi's phone logs later showed a call from a Combs associate just before he arrived home, suggesting inside knowledge, but no one claimed responsibility. Every silent hallway and every door clicked shut in warning. You are exposed, and someone powerful is watching. Yet no fire had burned, or so he thought, because the true message of that night wasn't flames, but fear. But the blaze was coming. Under the same Hollywood sky, a single incendiary device transformed a luxury icon into a smoking ruin. With one calculated toss, a Molotov cocktail arced through the slashed sunroof of Cudi's Porsche, shattering tempered glass and igniting the car's leather interior in an instant. Witnesses described a roar of flame that lit up the street like a bomb going off, spraying shards of plastic and rubber across the pavement. Cudi's dog, still reeling from its earlier confinement, bolted from the house at the explosion, coils of fear ripping through its body as it raced around the burning vehicle. Neighbors called 911, but by the time firefighters arrived, the car had already melted into a heap of charred steel. When asked how he reacted, Cudi didn't hesitate. "What the f?" he said again, voice raw with disbelief. That reaction wasn't just shock, it was the human beat of a man realizing someone had aimed a message not just at his possessions, but at his sanctuary and the animal he loved. In the courtroom, jurors leaned in as prosecutors laid out debris photos and security logs. But the morning after the fire set the stage for a face-to-face reckoning. The next day, Cudi and Combs met in the glass-walled splendor of Soho House, a stark contrast to neighborhood streets still smoldering from the night before. When Cudi entered, he saw Combs framed by floor-to-ceiling windows, hands clasped behind his back, glare fixed on the city beyond. Sunlight carved Combs' silhouette into that space, making him look like a supervillain from a comic book, a posture Cudi later described in court. No entourage, no guards, just 2 men separated by a table half empty of leftover drinks, the air between them thick with questions left unasked. Cudi demanded answers for his home invasion, for the firebomb, and especially for the dog's terror when it bolted into the street. Combs remained calm, voice low, delivering a crisp denial. "I don't know what you're talking about." The words hung in the air, almost polite, but Cudi could feel the threat behind them. You poke the hornet's nest, you bear the sting. They shook hands, a gesture as cold as the steel of the Porsche's remains, then parted ways. But the tremor of that meeting, of watching his dog cower and his car burn, was only one chapter in a story of control that prosecutors say runs much deeper. Rewind a year earlier to a Beverly Hills hotel suite where makeup artist Mila Morales first glimpsed Cassie Ventura's injuries. Eyes swollen shut, lips split, bruises blossoming across her cheeks like dark flowers. Morales rushed Ventura out of Diddy's presence and into a waiting car, but saw something more chilling in Ventura's trembling voice. Fear not just for herself, but for her dog back at Combs' compound. Ventura confessed she'd hidden her pet in a closet to keep it safe from Combs' fury, whispering that he'd threatened to harm the animal if she ever left him. Morales let Ventura stay with her for days, nursing her wounds and consoling a terrified dog whose normally wagging tail had gone limp. On the stand, Morales described fear so deep it shaped every corner of Ventura's life, the way she flinched at sudden noises, the way her dog trembled whenever someone raised a hand. Prosecutors used this private horror to show a pattern: violence used to coerce, threats used to control, and even innocent animals drawn into the cycle. Yet these glimpses of terror were only the prelude to the public spectacle that would unfold. Across town, a Beverly Hills hotel manager flipped through logbooks that read more like police reports than guest registers. Room 412 was marked "Deep Cleaning Required" 6 times in 6 months, each note detailing spilled candle wax seeping into carpets, half-burned incense dripping into light fixtures, and oil slicks across rugs that looked like deliberate acts of vandalism. Staff recalled finding dog hair caked in adhesive by the waste bins. Evidence, they said, that Combs had dangled his pet over the edge of a balcony during one late-night tantrum. Housekeepers spoke of doors kicked in, furniture overturned, and shampoo bottles emptied onto bedding like markers of territorial rage. Every departure left the suite locked down for days, hindering other guests and costing the hotel thousands in repairs. To Combs' team, these wrecked rooms were a byproduct of fame. To prosecutors, they were textbook intimidation, tools of a criminal enterprise bent on owning every space it touched. Each wrecked room, each frightened dog, each terrified aide added brushstrokes to a portrait of fear designed to keep witnesses silent. And the next act of this horror show was ready to begin in the courtroom. When Combs' lawyer Brian Steele took the stand against Cudi, the courtroom buzzed with tension. Steele honed in on text logs showing daily messages between Cudi and Ventura in 2011, painting a picture of a love triangle where Cudi claimed betrayal and Combs claimed nothing more than an ex's lingering friendship. "You were the one obsessed," Steele argued, "and yet you paint Mr. Combs as a villain while he threatened your dog?" Cudi admitted he'd felt played, but insisted that jealousy could not justify break-ins or breakouts of violence. Steele challenged every detail. Did cameras really move? Did someone really lock the dog? But then a twist. Hotel photos showing a terrified puppy, shrink-wrapped in plastic during a cleaning spree, surfaced under cross. The jurors gasped, not for a celebrity scandal, but for a frightened animal caught in a feud. Steele tried to spin it as an accident. Prosecutors said it was proof of a calculated campaign. In that battle of words, the image of a dog harmed, not collateral damage, but a targeted victim, became a powerful piece of the puzzle. So where does this leave the jurors, weighing testimony and torn loyalties? For prosecutors, every broken camera, every charred car, every battered guest, and every harried dog counts as a predicate act under RICO's broad umbrella. Arson, they argue, isn't just about property damage, it's proof of a criminal enterprise using terror to control its victims. Animal cruelty, too, can be grouped under conspiracy, showing Combs' willingness to cross any line. And now, with an anonymous lawsuit alleging non-consensual sex acts from 2001 resurfacing, the case's gravity deepens, a decades-long pattern of intimidation and abuse that goes far beyond music mogul antics. Defense attorneys call these claims unverified and sensational, but jurors are left staring at burned-out Porsches, shredded hotel rooms, and one terrified pup. As fresh allegations pile up, they must decide: does motive cloud perception, or does method reveal truth? The next witnesses will include financial experts, rink records, and possibly more friends who watched their pets suffer. And just beyond these courtroom doors, a verdict looms that could reshape the careers and lives of everyone involved. As day 10 dawns, eyes turn to a forensic accountant who will trace money flows from Combs' companies, and an animal welfare inspector who may testify about the dog's injuries. Will jurors see everything as isolated frenzies of fame, or as cogs in a machine of intimidation? Outside the court, Hollywood whispers of more claims waiting to surface, and the next bombshell could hit at any moment. For viewers at home, the question remains: will power protect the powerful, or will justice finally reach every corner? No matter how luxuriously it's been hidden, stay tuned, because this saga is far from over, and when the next chapter drops, it promises to be anything but ordinary.